Here's a question, guys. If you could come as much as you want to, but if you went over a certain threshold in ejaculation, you would just die, how much coming would you do on a daily basis? Well, accounting for the risks of dying from coming too much. For the sake of this thought experiment, let's just say that there is no significant other in your life that's asking you to come a lot. You're just ejaculating because you feel like it. Are we going by like milliliters, or let's say number of times you orgasm? Let's say that you can like literally dehydrate yourself to death by ejaculating too much, but you can't like rehydrate fast enough. So if you wanted to overcome till you die, that is something that you could do. Not all ejaculations are equal. True. I mean, we only have powerful traditional males around here, so I assume all of you guys only ejaculate deep inside your loving wife's vagina for the purpose of procreation and having children to protect America from white genocide. Death by ejaculation dehydration should only be done in the arms of a loving succubus girlfriend. Succubus girlfriend where, guys? What's up, chat? How are we doing today? You keep drawing them, maybe they'll get willed into existence. Even if they did exist, I wouldn't actually want to have a succubus girlfriend. I don't want other human beings around me. Even if they're, you know, sexy demons and stuff. Hashtag Asperger things. 3 more server boosts and BB could get a server tag in Discord. I don't understand what either of those terms are. What are these things you speak of? I don't know what server boosts are, and I don't know what a server tag in Discord is. These are foreign concepts to me. How are you feeling this evening? I used most of my energy earlier in the day drawing motorcycle details. I have no idea why people want to draw mecha. Those people are sick bastards, especially you, Toriyama. You and your fucking mecha fetish. Him and his desire to draw motorcycles. I'll just say that as a child, I didn't understand what a big deal it was for Toriyama to draw fucking motorcycles on every single Dragon Ball cover page. I just like took it for granted. As a child, I was like, why is Goku always riding in a car, riding on a motorcycle when he can fly faster than any vehicle? I don't get it. And now as an adult, I'm like, Toriyama, you fucking sicko. Literally no one was asking you to draw mecha every week, but he still did. People with Nitro use a boost to add features to your server. 3 more boosts and you can have a cute little tag next to your name. So you can have people from your server go around with a cum server name, I guess. Wait, do you get to choose any name? Or is it one... If it's already been taken by a different server, can you not use it? Because I'm pretty sure the cum server tag was taken immediately. If there's one thing I know about how these things work. OVA mechanical details versus the underpaid cell animator. I like how in half of the tutorials on how to become animators from like the 90s, like half of the advice is don't become an animator because you will literally starve to death. Whatever sort of capitalist forces that are supposed to work on various industries to adjust wages versus demand and stuff like that, they just don't seem to work in the anime industry. It's not clear why. It's actually we know why. It's because there's all these stupid draw slaves in Japan who are basically willing to work for fucking pennies until they die from exhaustion. You can choose every server tag. It's just limited to 4 characters. Well, that just means we have only one choice for our server tag, guys. And you know what it is. The NTR server tag. How does it feel when I fucked your waifu? I forgot how the Japanese abbreviate Futomomo. Was it FMM or FTMM? I'm not sure. I haven't seen it in a while. Fine, because Death Striker doesn't want it to be the NTR server. We'll use some text that's relevant to her. It can be the Baba server. As in, Uo Baba. I'm going to come inside, get pregnant, get pregnant. Baba means old hag, disgusting old hag woman. Also known as a 25-year-old woman. I saw some post where they called that minor geologist Giga Onesan a plap hog. It actually stunned me. What is this geologist Onesan that you are talking about? I might have to look up an image search of her for research reasons. This sounds relevant to my interests. The stream title is silly because meatballs to spaghetti are akin to jelly with peanut butter. It's equally important. Yes, but you have to like bake the meatballs so the heat goes through them, which means you have to take a separate step. Whereas if you just make normal meat sauce, you can just cook it in a frying pan and then add like the tomatoes afterwards. It's much faster. You're spending a lot of extra time just so you can get like the round shape and whatever texture benefit you get from meatballs, which I say is not worth the extra work. Just make meat sauce normally. It's still like the same ground beef. I mean, if I want to make meatballs, it probably takes me like, what, an extra 40 minutes? I don't know how many minutes in the oven it would require to bake the meatballs through, but if I'm making meat sauce spaghetti, which I will be doing tonight, it only takes me like, 20 minutes, so... I generally don't want to spend time on something that's only a minor upgrade in cooking. Plap hog is such a wild term. Feels like it should be offensive, yet the post emanated zero maliciousness. Yes, we should call women by the proper terminology. Instead of calling them plap hogs, we should call them slam pigs. The Webster's Dictionary official title. We have to respect the English language and use the correct terminology to refer to a woman we want to have sex with. Trying to think if women have any equally derogatory and goofy ass terminology for men. It has to be a word that's both derogatory but also indicates that you want to have sex with them. Slam pig means you find them slightly unattractive due to their weight, possibly, but also you definitely want to stick your penis inside them very badly. So the closest that women have is maybe himbos and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like if I read more Fujoshi content, they would have more terminology for the various anime men they sexualize all the time. But the Fujoshi don't really come out into the public discourse. They hide in their darkened caves of male sexuality, so it's kind of hard to pick up on their terminology unless you're constantly reading Fujoshi literature, which I am not. It's gotta be offensive, but at the same time emanates genuine love desire. I'm pretty sure Plaphog and Slampig do not emanate genuine love desire. I mean, maybe genuine desire as in I want to stick my penis in them, but... Despite women being emotionally horny, they don't have the constant need to ejaculate that men do. Which means that there's a lack of desperation in their sexual needs until they start to, I don't know, experience the first signs of menopause and then they freak out or something. I don't know how this shit works, but I can at least say that as men are in constant need of ejaculation, which is why they stick their penis in holes that they definitely should not stick it in. Like, you know, vacuum cleaners with rotating blades inside them. The worst thing that you can call a man as a woman is Oji-san. No, don't call me Oji-san. I don't think there's anything like slam pig in Japan because there's not enough fat women for the concept to really strike true. You're constantly worried in Japan that if you slam pig a female, Japanese female, you'll break all of their brittle bones because Japanese women are constantly undernourished because they're all anorexic. The worst thing I ever called a man was cute. I never saw a man look so deflated. Calling a man cute is pretty bad, but even worse is calling his penis cute. Kya! David-kun, your micro penis is so kawaii. David-kun never recovered. In general, I think you shouldn't call people cute, man or female. I often see Americans call old women cute. Like, oh, that old woman is just such the cutest thing. I'm like, that's pretty demeaning if you ask me. I think it's pretty creepy, honestly. It's like you're no longer treating them as a human. Assume the girl just overuses the word. I find it more forgivable if it's in Japanese because Japanese women literally only have like 5 words in their vocabulary. And one of them is kawaii. Kawaii, sugoi. My grandma is a slightly bigger, more racist Baby Yoda. She is adorbs. You don't know how racist Baby Yoda is. Baby Yoda might be significantly more racist than your grandmother. We just don't know. This witch? Yeah. I felt like drawing something easy today. I wouldn't call a girl a plat hog or a slam pig, even if I would mean it as a purely positive thing. Yeah, it's weird how you can call people something as a purely positive name and they still get upset. Like the time I called one of my best friends a certain name and he got upset. He was black, by the way. I'm not sure what about that word triggered him so much, but he absolutely lost his mind. It was very weird. You had the pass right. I look way too white to ever have the pass. Here's a question. Do you think PewDiePie has the pass? PewDiePie doesn't have the pass from, like, white society. But does PewDiePie have the pass from black society? That's one question. He totally do. At this point, PewDiePie probably has the pass for everything, but I often think about Spike Lee, who has a personal issue with Quentin Tarantino dropping N-bombs nonstop in Pulp Fiction and stuff. And I wonder if anybody else actually cares, and I think the answer is probably not. Of course, no one cares. It's just one of those, like, gotcha words. If you don't care about being socially respectable, then saying the no-no words of the English language can't really hurt you that much. So it's only for politicians, or at least it used to be for politicians. At this point, I don't think politicians really care at this point very much either. Gotcha word, as in when you're having a really bad time playing PUBG and you say a specific word when you're on a specific bridge, then it becomes known as the bridge incident, and then everybody gets upset at you. Yeah, there's just a lot of gotcha things at this point where it's like, oh, he said it. That means this is my big chance. I never liked him. I can go after him now. On the other hand, at least it's like one specific word that you're 100% not supposed to say. So even for someone like me who is just constantly blabbering whatever is at the top of my head, I can at least have like the mental capacity not to say one specific word, so it makes life much easier. I'm trying to figure out whether I want to draw a archer from Clash of Clans or a skeleton. Archer is female, so I think it should probably be a fellow Skelebro. Feels like so much wild shit is going on in the world that a celeb getting canceled would just not be the focus. That's right, guys. We should all forgive Kanye right now. The cancellation period for Kanye is over, guys. Now, excuse me while I go to his website and buy his various Nazi-themed t-shirts. Hispanics and Asians said it all the time, and I did not give a fuck. I mean, the 2000s was like peak, you know, non-black people wearing do-rags and Jinko jeans and playing street ball culture. I'm sure there are a lot of Asian kids that were dropping N-bombs back in the day, especially on the West Coast. You mean the artist formerly known as Kanye or simply Ye? What is Kanye called right now? Grok. Let's ask Grok. Grok, how should I properly address Kanye West, his name, in 2025? In 2025, Kanye West should be addressed as Ye, as he legally changed his name to Ye in October 2021. This is his official name for all purposes, including music, fashion, and public appearances. Using Ye is the most accurate and respectful way to refer to him. Thank you, Grok. I was worried that I might offend Ye if I referred to him with his previous dead name. I mean, this would be funny, but it's actually just kind of sad because it's just like a second fiddle to the original version of that, which would be, of course, Prince changing his name to a fucking symbol where there's like no way to pronounce it, so we all had to call him the artist formerly known as Prince for like 5 years or some shit. Now that's a fucking flex move, where every time people want to address you, they have to address you as the artist formerly known as Prince. It's sad as fuck. It's someone losing all his mind with no recourse. I legitimately can't tell if Kanye is just losing his mind or he's just like trying to milk the internet rabbit hole forever. I guess that is a form of losing your mind now that I think about it. Maybe it's the same thing. Ye should really take his pills. I mean, has his music suffered? Remember what happened when Anno took his pills? Everyone was like, Anno, take your pills. And then Evangelion movies weren't as good as a result. And everyone was like, oh no, we've made a mistake. Evangelion isn't as much fun when the director has overcome his depression and found a big titty waifu and he's happy now. Was Prince or Snoop Dogg the first to pull the I'm changing my iconic name shtick? Prince did that way back in the day. Snoop Dogg didn't do the whole Snoop Lion thing until pretty recently. My favorite version is Ron Artest, who, if you guys don't follow NBA basketball, was a NBA player who is known primarily for his physical defense, i.e. violence. So, to cut his association with being a violent player, he officially changed his name to Meta World Peace. And everyone said, wow, this means that he's no longer a violent person anymore. What? Did you not know this? I don't know what his name is right now. Oh, he changed his name from Meta World Peace back to Artest, but his first name is still Meta. The name change, which happened in 2011, was meant to be an educational tool and an inspiration for youth to embrace positive ideals instead of violence and drugs. Thank you, Ron Artest. Meta is a Buddhist concept for loving and kindness. Because if there's one player I want to learn loving and kindness from, it's actually, can I see the footage of it? Let's see if YouTube has the Ron Artest elbow. Here we go, boys. Let's go up. Boop. James Harden's like, I didn't play defense. Boom. Fucking absolutely annihilated. The funny thing is, like, as usual, Harden was not playing defense at all. So it wasn't even like Ron Artest got annoyed with him around him. It was just like somebody vaguely within my area let me, like, give him the full fucking elbow. That's the thing about Ron Artest. There's a lot of, like, NBA players who are violent on purpose, like, as part of the game, and, like, that was part of their identity and how they got paid by acting as an enforcer. But Ron Artest was just kind of violent because he couldn't help himself. Like, he'd just get excited and he would, like, respond by, like, punching someone. Dead naming Meta World Peace, really, KekW. So apparently his first name is still Meta, but his last name is back to being Artest. I'm not sure why he decided to, you know, give up on the whole world peace narrative, but... Went to a Lakers game where Meta World Peace was at some opening ceremony thing and lost my shit, LMAO. To be fair, they did win a championship with him. Something that the Knicks can say about approximately like 5 players that are still alive. You wouldn't understand, Death Striker. Your team hasn't won a championship in your lifetime, so... Sigh. Don't worry, the Knicks will be good this year, trust me. I mean, the Knicks better be good this year, considering literally all the better teams above them are all injured. to hell. If you're not going to be good in the year in which Boston is out, Pacers are out, all you have to beat is like Cleveland and possibly Milwaukee. I don't even know if Milwaukee is even slightly good enough. If you can't win now, it ain't looking good. All the Knicks need to be able to do is run a few laps. I think that was kind of the problem in previous season, is that, rest in peace, Thibodeau was having them run too many laps. Actually, it probably wasn't the problem, because shockingly, the Knicks didn't suffer any kind of like serious injuries, despite Thibodeau forcing them to play like 40 minutes a game or 50 minutes a game or whatever during the regular season. Tatum having a miracle recovery and will return for the playoffs. Copium. I mean, Boston shouldn't even try and get him back. Let's be honest. Even if Tatum got healthy and they made it into like the finals or something, OKC is gonna wipe their ass, wipe the floor with Boston's ass at this point. They don't have the pieces right now. They will still run Josh Hart into the ground. If Josh Hart isn't playing 50 minutes a game, why is he even there? Josh Hart must do the needful. Damn uncle type chat. I'm sure there's a few 20-year-olds in this chat. We just scare them off from ever having the opportunity to say anything, because as soon as someone says something even slightly zoomery, I'm like, shut the fuck up, youngster, you don't understand. PlayStation was at its best in 1998. We had Xenogears back then. Respect your elders, son. We blew into cartridges bought fresh from Toys R Us. Sometime you'd be playing Donkey Kong Country on your SNES, and then mom would come by vacuuming, and she would get the cord caught on the vacuum cleaner, and it would turn off your system, and you wouldn't have any saved data because you didn't have saved data back then, and you'd lose all your progress. Actually, that can still happen right now. Nothing has changed, actually. It's still the same. Leave your NES on overnight so it's glowing red with heat. There was some games had like the passcodes, and if you wrote one of the letters wrong in Dragon Quest or whatever, you couldn't recover your fucking adventure. Ah, the good old days, said nobody. Fuck that. As much as we complain about modern gaming, no one was like, oh, it was better back in the NES days, when all the graphics you had were literally a few dots on the screen. and you only had 6 colors, and you couldn't fucking save your game. Ah, real gaming. We have to go back, boys. I had a notebook with Mega Man passwords back in the day. If you want to hear about how little of an actual gamer card I have, I tried buying like the Mega Man Classic collection, and I was like, I'll start by playing Mega Man 1. I know the order in which I have to fight the bosses because I read Japanese comics back in the 90s where they would talk about the different Mega Man bosses. So I will start on the construction boss in Mega Man 1, and then you get to the point like 10 seconds into the stage where you have to jump on these fucking panels that they like drop underneath you, and you just fall to your death if you don't jump at the exact right timing. And within like 20 minutes I gave up on playing the game. So yeah. Video games were a little bit harder back in the day. Anybody that tells you otherwise doesn't properly remember. I always tell people to start with Mega Man 2. See, my mother never bought me an NES or an SNES, so I missed the golden age of Mega Man gaming. Instead, my mother allowed me to own the strategy guides, and there are some really nice Japanese strategy guides for Mega Man. So I would just look at the images of Mega Man X characters and imagine myself playing the video game because I wasn't actually allowed to play the video game. My mother is taking away my gaming cred. I in particular like this design right here. The Zoomers don't understand, but if you were a kid in 1990, you saw this Robo Shrimp, you're like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Look at this fucking shrimp, this mecha shrimp, boys. Everything about this activated my neurons as like a 10-year-old. Why the fuck does art design no longer look like that? It doesn't make any sense. I prefer classic over X, but X is cool. This of course brings up the question, which are you going to masturbate to as a teenager in the year 2000? This or this? They were really going hard for this one when they added the mole here. Himekat Uo. This is slightly different from Himekat because you can't see the eyes, but you could call this like a quasi Himekat. Mega Man X Marino Butt. Oh, I remember this character. This was, by this point, Mega Man was, it had entered its period of, like, Capcom doesn't know what to do. But the character designers were still being horny. Best PS2 era fat bait ninja. I like the Onimusha ninja. I can't remember her name. Oh, it's Kaede, right? The fucking official artwork of her was absolutely mind-blowing as a child. When they're giving you images like this shit as like a 13-year-old and you're like, wait, if I stare long enough here, maybe I can see the vagina. It's like, ah, my sexo, my hormones are being activated. Also, she's like thin as fuck, but then only the boobs are jutting out right here. That's also extremely sexo, but yeah. The actual character model in the game was also pretty hot, because they were using an actual actress and stuff. I'd just like to point out that this is not how kimono works. Your boobs aren't going to stick out like this, but Capcom couldn't help themselves. Red Ninja End of Honor was great PS2 game. Anyone who couldn't beat it just sucked. XD. The reason why Red Ninja End of Honor was called Red Ninja End of Honor was because if you were a teenager looking at the artwork back in the day and you jacked off to it, your honor ended due to your shameful FAP sessions. Capcom could help themselves. They chose not to, LOL. They let too many females into the art design team. The horniness became overwhelming. I'm kind of against stripper ninja female player characters. The ninja must be dressed in stripper outfit. I say so. You have no allies here. You're not gonna find anyone else in chat who's like, yes, these shinobi sluts need to cover up. Think of all the children. I'm thankful I'm a Zoomer who grew up with 2B. I mean, I'm glad you had at least one character with an ass. It's kind of sad to hear the Zoomers talk about the sexy characters that they have been allowed to grow up with, like whatever sexy Fortnite skin they got, because you know that they're basically subsisting on table scraps. They don't know how much better it was back in the day. They're just like, oh look, I can almost see a little bit of ass right there. It's like, oh, you poor things. You're literally starving. How else are smutty strippers, shinobi, ninja girls going to land a samurai husband and have a family if they're not wearing a miniskirt kimono? Slutty ninja girl must be captured by ugly bastard Japanese warlord and get tied up in rope bondage. And then from there, either she assassinates him or loses to his penis. But one way or the other, they have to get to the rope bondage stage before anything happens. That's just part of the whole package. How is the cut going, big boss? How defined in building are your muscles, gachi-gasm? When you cut weight, you actually lose muscles, you know. That's the thing that kind of sucks about dieting. You can either be fucking giga muscle fat Chad or skinny otter body. You must choose between these two. Otter bod. I don't really have the genes to be strong fat, so it's probably just being fat. Be a muscular twink. Those people, they get strong fat first, and then they cut so that they're slightly less muscular, but they have less fat. That's how you do it. What happened to the classic hunk? You mean like Fabio? I wish I could be like Fabio, guys. He's so sexy. I think if I started training properly, I could go straight to muscular twink because I can't put on body fat. You'll be able to put on body fat when you become an old, ugly bastard like me, trust me. I thought that I wasn't putting on any body fat, but then I started hitting, 38, and now it's like fat time. It would be nice if humans were like that specific type of fish in which you fight with other fish, and then as a male fish, if you lose to the other male fish, then you have to become like the sexually submissive female fish. You just change your gender. That way when I'm defeated in hand-to-hand combat with Giga Chad Alpha Male Fabio, I would be able to change my bussy into ovaries, and we could have continue our DNA. But alas, instead, human males just have to choose to not reproduce instead. I don't know what you're talking about being harder when you get older. I've lost 60 pounds in 6 months easy. It's not that hard to lose weight. It's just hard to lose weight and then like maintain your muscle mass. Anybody who's like, oh, it's so hard to lose weight, you need to change your eating habits. And if you have a giant tub of ice cream in the fridge that you are eating, you need to get rid of it. The BaalBud I. Unfortunately, I'm too male-coded to ever truly go down the bussy route. I just think that it's socially efficient if the failed men that failed to reproduce could reproduce in the form of like becoming women. We got steroids for that. That's right. I need testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, right? If I Google search TRT, will I just get a bunch of advertisements? TRT near me. Renew Vitality Testosterone. Vitality Testosterone Replacement. Game Day Men's Health. There's like 6 of them just in my general area. At this point in 2025, men are just like, I need to be juicing. Like we don't even pretend that we actually need this shit anymore. It's just like everybody needs to be on the juice now. Just do meth, you'll lose weight real fast. Do people using meth lose weight because they don't eat anything besides just using meth all day long? Is that how it works? Or does the meth actually like affect their body, like increase their metabolism or something? Sky's the limit, brah. We all gonna die of an enlarged heart, brah. I do find it weird how people who idolize Ziz are just like, yeah, genetically he had a heart condition. They're not really talking about how, even if genetically he had heart issues, using a shit ton of steroids probably was what caused him to die ultimately. Like, it definitely exacerbated the situation. It's true that amphetamines reduce your appetite to almost zero. You just still eat, just not gorge. But how can I be a true American if I'm not gorging all the time? Can you really say you love this great country of America if you're not going to Denny's Grand Slam breakfast? the fuck? I searched in YouTube Denny's Grand Slam and a fucking commercial for the Grand Slam breakfast has fucking 13 million views of Americans who are literally like, yeah, let me go watch this fucking commercial for pancakes. That's some sick shit, bro. Looks like a good snack, Kona. Somebody offers you $3,500 to finish everything on this tray in 90 minutes. Would you do it? Bob Chipman. That's a fairly small amount of McDonald's for an average sized person, I'd say? Question mark. The main reason fast food cooks so fast and it lasts so short is that there isn't much density to it. I wouldn't want to eat a double helping of nuggets in that time frame, but I could easily. It's 4 drinks. What is this? 20 McNuggets, 2 large fries, and 4 double cheeseburgers. I like the average sized person. There's no density to it, bros. It's just full of air, you guys. There's no real actual solid objects inside this. You want a real American commercial in food? Go watch the Carl's Jr. Hardee's commercial for the All-American Thick Burger. I would like how they kept on trying to use sex to sell their shitty burgers for the longest time, even after it went out of style, basically, and none of the other ad companies were trying to use sex to sell their hamburgers, but they kept on going. Biggest challenge on that tray are the 4 drinks. Don't worry, it's a diet soda. It can't hurt me. That is laughably little for 90 minutes. Would probably puke from the grease though. I think I could probably finish that much if I had 90 minutes. 90 minutes is pretty long. Do you know that in Japan they're currently doing Famichiki, the Family Mart chicken all you can eat? It's like, I forgot how much. I think it was like 1,000 yen for like 30 minutes. So you have to eat like 5 Famichiki to have it be a good deal or something like that. But apparently it's too popular because you have to win the you have to be accepted, basically. It's not a lottery system, so it's like first come first served, and you have to have a reservation for it. So too many people are signing up, so you can't actually participate even if you wanted to. Apparently there's a lot of people who want to eat 10 pieces of deep fried Family Mart fried chicken, which is probably even worse for you than like all those chicken McNuggets, but maybe not. It is Japan. They might be using slightly better ingredients, I don't know. Low price, all you can eat are a losing game for the shops. I heard that part of the reason why Red Lobster went out of business was because they did too much all you can eat shrimp. Later in their period in which they were losing customers, so they're like, customers always come in for all you can eat shrimp. What if we did all you can eat shrimp all the time? And then of course it was losing them so much money. If Americans could actually walk around instead of sitting in our stupid Ford F-150s, maybe we could tolerate eating this bullshit. It's not a beer belly. It's a gas tank for a sex machine. Didn't private equity kill Red Lobster by selling their properties and having them rent back the buildings they used to own while pocketing the money from the sale? Yes. I've watched enough YouTube videos on why so-and-so is doing poorly when it used to be awesome, and literally every single one of them is just because it was bought by private equity. And Red Lobster is one of them. I don't even understand how these private equities make money when their entire business seems to be buy something that used to be popular, extract all the value from it until everybody notices they hate it, which is usually takes less than a year, and then sell all the assets and then close the thing because it's now completely worthless. Like, how can that be fucking profitable? Red Lobster and Subway are profitable for their real estate, not their brand. I mean, if nobody ever enters the restaurant though, even with the real estate locations. Again, this is another problem that Japan doesn't seem to have. I don't even know if private equity is legal in Japan. It might not be. Honestly, I don't know. They get to sell the debt-loaded company while keeping the money? Okay, I guess I didn't understand how private equity works. Let's ask Grok. How is private equity work as a business? How is Private equity firms operate by raising capital from investors, acquiring companies, improving their performance, and selling them for a profit. Oh, I see. So they don't actually have to... Holding period 3 to 7 years. Management fees, typically 1 to 2% of committed capital annually to cover operational costs. Carried interests, other fees. They're basically a larger version of consulting, which anybody can tell you is the most bullshit form of making money of all time. It's kind of insane how these things exist where they try and convince you like they know better when it's pretty obvious they don't. Capitalism is kind of dead at this point. You could say it's late stage even. I think we're past the late stage, unfortunately. Trotsky bros, our time is nigh. Trotsky bros, don't talk about it in stream. I think Stalin is watching. I don't want to go back to Siberia. Fully free public transportation, that's literally communism, guys. We can't allow this to happen. Mom Donnie is making it happen. Get on board, comrade. I've heard a lot about how most of his ideas are horrible ideas, apparently. There's a lot of economists saying, no, you can't have state-owned grocery stores or whatever. Isn't he literally just saying they should be like, they should have like price controls on food and stuff? Like the kind of shit that caused Venezuela to have like massive social issues. I mean, it's kind of hard to vote against him when the other two candidates is a guy who was being charged for taking foreign money but got off free because he decided to suck Trump's dick, and another guy who got kicked out of governor because he was doing what shady shit. I can't remember what Cuomo was doing actually. I mean, how the fuck are you going to convince people to vote for the other candidates when Trump is literally like, no, you can't vote for this communist. It's like, okay, well, you've basically sealed the deal. Thanks, Trump. If there's one way that in which you can get all the New Yorkers to immediately vote for some candidate is to have like Trump bitch and cry and moan about them. So implementing city grocery stores, public daycare, free bus routes before they slash the tax rate in the 90s. We must not have free daycare. Women must stay home with children so they cannot go outside and have sexual relations with other men. It's the only way to prevent loose women from spreading their legs. I feel like America has a large enough tax base that if rich people were just forced to pay, I don't know, the actual progressive tax rate that normal people have to pay, it would solve like 85% of America's problems financially. Obviously that's not ever going to happen, but the wealthy can afford to move outside city limits. We will not allow them to leave. We'll tie them up and put them in the man dungeon. They'll be forced to wrestle all day long. I mean, surely there's ways to tax the ultra rich in which they can't actually just like evade taxes immediately. Like, they need to have access to the US market. If America actually wanted to tax the wealthy, it could probably pretty easily. They just don't want to. Love me special interest groups. I mean, the wealthy aren't giving millions of dollars to their politicians for nothing. There's a reason. What's the point of lobbying if you're not going to get your tax rate reduced? You know how much legal tax evasion was going on in the era of FDR's high taxes? I don't know, but probably less than it is going on right now. Considering some of our richest people pay literally zero because they're in debt to themselves. Alright. I've drawn enough on stream. Let's do a little bit of guess the game, and then I will leave. I think I kind of figured out how to draw quickly, but I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I can say for sure I won't be able to draw quickly on stream. Nothing is gonna happen quickly on stream because I'm hyper distracted at all times, but I think I sort of figured it out. Guess the game. Japanese roof. This is looking kind of EO, guys. EO? EO? Shenmue or whatever. The textures are too good. Well, it's not Yote yet. They wouldn't have a game that's out yet, but we can do Ghost of Tsushima. The lighting seems a little open world. It's definitely too good for anything that isn't like a new system. I'm gonna go something recent. No. Yo! Okay, they're pushing hard that it's set in Japan. What's a set in Japan game that's 79%? That seems like Assassin's Creed Shadows kind of number if it's 79%. Do you think that's Ass Creed? I think that's Ass Creed. Yo! Bong, 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 bong. Clank, 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 clank. Yeah, it is open world. I can recognize that Ubisoft lighting system. I know how that shit works, boys. Alright, guys. I will be going back into my draw cave. Chapter 4 of the manga is out on Patreon. If you are sub to my Patreon, the dub of the chapter 4 will be going up every day this week. Please enjoy. I worked for a very long time on that chapter. You are required to enjoy it. What if I'm not? I would expect no less from you, you traitor. It will be on Twitter after a while. But for now, it's only on Patreon. Bye.